a motion to approve the minutes from the September 15th, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
So moved.
Sharon?
Second?
And Lynn? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our second student board member to the board. It's our first meeting. Ms. Elizabeth Roberts is here. She'll be with us along with Warwick for the rest of the year. I'd like to give her the opportunity to introduce herself. Sure, grab a mic.
Hello?
There we go. Hi.
I am Elizabeth Roberts. I'm a high school senior currently. I'm very excited to be presenting to you what's been going on in high school this past month. Right now, I'm currently looking at colleges and I'm currently interested in Boston University, Temple University, something like that. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Roberts. Okay, comments on agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to address the board on agenda items only may do so now. Okay. I am going to turn it over to Dr. Leach for reports from the administration.
Thank you. I'm going to ask if we begin with our external auditor and Bill Trainer here this evening. He's had the opportunity to share the management letter and his findings with administration and board representatives and community representatives at the audit committee this evening. He's going to provide the entire board with a brief summary to thank him and his team for the time that they spent here in district and the constructive feedback they provided. And I also thank Mr. Holmes and his team as well for working so hard to go through this pretty thorough process. Welcome, Mr. Trainer.
Thank you. How do I bring this on?
This is the rule. Give me a hand. There's a little button there.
There we go. There you go. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity to have some time with the board for a few minutes. I know you've got a full agenda, so I won't take up too much of it. But your introduction of the student member, my heart always goes out to the student members who have to listen to my audit presentation. It's bad enough for those of us who aren't here voluntarily. But I'll be somewhat brief. We performed the audit of the district this summer as of for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2022. Just to remind everybody that when we're here, we actually perform 4 different audits or examinations, if you will. There's an audit of the financial statements of the district in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards that gets completed. There's an audit of internal control over financial reporting and compliance in accordance with government auditing standards. There's also an evaluation of compliance over major federal award programs, which gets completed, and then the audit of the extra classroom activity funds. So there's essentially 4 separate reports that get issued that are all part of this document. I'm pleased to report that all 4 reports resulted in what we refer to as a unmodified opinion. It's essentially a pass-fail, pass with comments type of rating system. So if the district received pass for everything, which is the highest that can be received, then it's a successful audit. What was different a little bit this year, there were a couple of new wrinkles to the audit season. There was a new standard issued by the Government Accounting Standards Board regarding leases, which we did implement, the district implemented. There were also, we have a lot of federal award money, with regard to the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan money, doubled from last year to this year. We were over, I think, $3.5 million this year. And one of the things that was part of that, receiving those federal awards, all of that grant money was split into different grants, and each grant was considered high risk. And whenever there's a new grant that's considered high risk. It has to be evaluated as far as its compliance with federal standards. So there were some differences in the audit process this year, aside from what we're used to. Everything was successful. You know, some of the numbers that I'm just going to touch on a couple of numbers real quick. Everybody has their copy, you know, and they can potentially open up to page 17. Page 17 is kind of the salient page in the sense that it presents the balance sheet and corresponding financial position of each of the major funds of the district, with the general fund being the most significant. And I'll call everybody's attention to the bottom section of that page, the fund balance area, which is essentially the real sign of the fiscal health of the district. You'll see in the general fund column you have approximately $23 million in fund balance, of which $14 million is restricted. Those are the different reserves that the board is utilizing for tax certiorari claims and capital reserve to help them fund the project. And these are all, you know, legal reserves that have been established for specific purposes. So it's not like you've got $22 million at your disposal. The use of those reserves is important. It's something that we see as the auditor as effective management of fund balance. A comptroller likes to see the use of reserves and planning for not necessarily the rainy day as much as the unanticipated potential extraordinary item. Okay. The other number in this column I'll call your attention to is the unassigned fund balance of 4.1%. You may all be familiar with the 4% limitation, okay, which is part of the real property tax law in the state of New York. You're not supposed to exceed 4% of the ensuing year's budget. That 4.1 million represents essentially exactly 4% of the 22-23 budget. So, you know, you are not retaining more fund balance than you're supposed to. And at the same time, you know, some people may think, well, you're at the max. Well, but that's kind of where you want to be, okay? Because there's a lot of, you know, that's there for emergencies, you know, for COVID costs, you know, we just seen for rising, you know, transportation costs with fuel, with, you know, unexpected emergencies, you know, so it's important to try to keep it. You think about it as a savings account at home, you know, you try to keep it as full as you reasonably can, you know, for that unexpected situation. So that's kind of where the district is. The other funds going across, you know, school lunch fund had a successful year, kind of had a tough year with COVID a couple of years ago. The federal government managed to keep reimbursement rates higher, which with school getting back to in-person more consistently, it helped out the operations of the school lunch fund, where you actually have little extra fund balance right now. You're carrying about $810,000, a little bit more than probably recommend. But there's that extra reimbursement's going away. You know, that terminated essentially August 31st. So now we're back to business as usual, which you all remember. Traditionally, you know, school lunch fund tends to lose a few bucks. So it's kind of good to have a little fund balance there to absorb some of these higher costs. You got your capital projects fund, which, you know, you always have a lot going on capital-wise. Voters approved the new project with $5 million coming from the capital reserve, which was moved over, and that project is on the way now. So that's why you see that $4 million in the capital projects fund. So all in all, you know, the district's in sound financial shape. You know, we do have this. The comptroller has its fiscal stress monitoring system, which, you know, once a year we put out a rating. Definitely based upon what we saw, what this financial statement says, there is no risk of fiscal stress for Warwick Valley Central School District. that your policies and procedures that the board has established essentially are effective. You know, that's one of the things that leads to a unmodified audit opinion is the fact that the controls you have in place are operating the way they're supposed to. The other thing that we notice is proper planning when it comes to budgeting. You know, we had a lengthy discussion with the audit committee previously. But a few of the highlights I will share is your revenue budget for the general fund was pretty much right on the money. You know, you received everything that was budgeted. It's important because if you don't collect that revenue, it's hard to make your, you know, expenditures. At the same time, on the expenditure side, you spent or encumbered 97.6.8% of your adopted budget. All right, that tells us that it's an effective budget, you know, that it's planned out properly. And not only is it planned out properly, but once it's adopted, it's carried through the way it was intended, okay? You know, 98% is pretty much where, you know, we hope to see 95 to 98, we want to see district spending. Otherwise, are you budgeting something you don't need, you know? In this case, you're spending it, it's planned out, so there's clearly a need. All in all, it was a successful audit. A few other highlights, you know, there's you had a couple of debt issuances come off to the books this year, but just in time with the new project getting going. So, you know, this is doing well financially. You know, its processes are effective, and the board, administration, the board, and the public should be comfortable in this that's being demonstrated. Okay. I don't go any longer than that. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, we appreciate you attending the audit committee this evening and giving the committee a pretty thorough review of the report and the time spent in the district. And the constructive feedback we certainly take seriously and continue to improve. So thank you.
Oh yeah, one last comment. I do always want to extend my thanks and gratitude to Mr. Holmes and the business team. They make our life definitely easier with some of the changes that we encountered this year with leases and grants. They pulled together a lot of documentation that they haven't normally been required to in the past. So it was very much appreciated. So, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Just a few important items to review before we have our principals provide us an update at the building level. As the board is aware, certainly the community as well, we very often hold not only a regular board meeting like this evening, we take care of business, but then we have a meeting often that we call a work session, where we discuss topics, subjects that are certainly important, and do so in a less formal way and more informational and more dialogue with the board and presenters. Under the leadership of Ms. Megan McGordy, in a few weeks we will have our next work session, and it will be focused on wellness and mental health. It'll look a lot like last year in terms of, for those who are new to the board or weren't part of the work sessions last year. Last year we devoted significant time at the elementary division, the middle school and high school divisions, and we provided about an hour or so review with our faculty, staff, some students, taking a look at our curriculum, our instruction, what we're offering extracurriculars at those buildings, a little bit of mental health, a little bit of just about everything. This year the board, so that worked well, I think. This year we felt it was important now to take a closer look at what supports we're offering and what our wellness and mental health approach and program looks like in the district. So that's in a couple of weeks, which is October 20th. So I encourage everyone to come, and we will have faculty and staff presenting along with some building leaders in the district. And again, Ms. McGordy's working on that. I have the honor of introducing a few folks this evening that, while they'll be referenced on the personnel agenda, I thought I would take this time so I don't forget And one we have with us this evening. In fact, if you'd like to wave Trish, we have Trish Irwin with us. And Trish is, I'm recommending her this evening to be the new Director of Pupil Personnel Services. So Trish will be coming from us from Nipissing, where she serves as a supervisor of special education. Trish has over 27 years of experience working in public education, from a teacher to a department chair to a supervisor of special education. So a very difficult position to fill is to have someone of Trish's caliber joining us. We feel very fortunate, and we want to welcome you. So welcome, Trish. I'd also like to recognize that Ms. Megan McGordy, who is currently the Director of Pupil Personnel Services, will be moving over to be the new Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction. Megan had been with the district for several years now. She joined us back in 2012 as a teacher, where she taught prior to that in New York City. Then she assumed the role of assistant principal. Then she was a special education supervisor, director, and then the Director of Pupil Personnel Services. So it's great to see someone from our teaching ranks move right through in various teacher leadership roles and then administrative leadership roles. And we're just so excited on what she's going to offer for our children in the curriculum instruction area. So congratulations to Megan. I wanted to provide a brief update regarding what occurred Friday, September 30th, Friday or Saturday? Friday, September 30th at NFA. So as I'm sure most are aware, our football team played at NFA, Newburgh Free Academy, Friday evening, and unfortunately, it was a very difficult evening for all the players and spectators for both school districts, as there were 5 gunshots fired in close proximity to the school on school grounds, with 3 people being shot and injured. And I think at this point they haven't announced that they've even caught who did this. It was quite an alarming situation, to say the least. We had a few of our board members. I attend most of the football games, and I missed that one, but I know we had Mr. Garcia and Mr. Mislankin at the game, and I spoke to several students and coaches that were there. And the job that our staff did, we should certainly be proud of, because they quickly moved the students to safe locations. A lot of spectators moved to the gymnasium. It was quite something, and in the interim, for now, I announced that we would not be attending any extracurriculars or sporting events in Newburgh until further notice, based on the reports that we're hearing that are reported regarding violence and gun. I think that not too long ago there was a 5-year-old as well as his parent shot, and I don't know all the data there, but there's quite a bit of unfortunately quite a bit of violence being reported. So I know Newburgh and Warwick City School District, which does a very, very nice job and continues to work very hard for their students and their children, is coming up with a plan to try to further add safeguards and assurances as best they can. So they have put a pause for a week. They've suspended all extracurricular activities that are hosted on site for a week, and I spoke to the superintendent yesterday to learn a little bit more about that, and when I have more to share with the board and the public, I'll do so. Our mental health clinicians, our counselors, our coaches met with students that night and families, as well as the following Sunday, right? Your football team and cheer team again met, and then Monday we had our team. We didn't ask for the county team to come. Sometimes we will when there's something significant like this that occurs, but we felt our clinicians could handle it based on our read of the situation. I think that worked out well. So I'll have more information soon, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are for all that were involved in So this time, I would like to have our school principals share a little bit about what's taking place at the buildings. We're going to begin with John Mariah, and again, just brief updates, just a couple minutes, but it gives all of us a flavor of all the great things that are occurring in our schools, and we'll have so much to be proud of as we move into, as this year continues to be, feel like years ago outside of the pandemic. It's been so nice.
Yeah, it has been such a great start to the school year. So many positive vibes and positive feedback. We were able to wrap up September with our 2 back-to-school nights where we welcomed parents back in person to meet with many of the teachers. And it was just a great night, standing room only, and we had the opportunity to meet. Welcome them back into the building. I had the opportunity to spend some time talking about our Portrait of the Graduate initiative and how it's embedded into our lessons and our units, and they're very excited to see, even on the kindergarten level, how students are being prepared for their future. And of course, their favorite part of the night was visiting their classrooms, going in and meeting their teachers, talking to the teachers and learning about what their students are doing every day in the classroom. And they really, the feedback that I got is parents left that night, emails that I received the day after, talking to parents on the pickup line. They just felt so welcomed and finally part of their children's school day again. So that was very special and a nice way to roll into October. And here we are with Sanfordville have their school safety week during this week, where our school safety team meets and plans activities, discussions, lessons throughout the week that reviews all of our emergency plans and our drills, and we work on fire drills and hold in place, shelter in place, lockouts, lockdowns, in a very scripted manner with students throughout the week. And we're supported by our PTA. This evening, we had a wonderful event at Sanfordville. Our Touch a Truck was this evening, and we just want to thank all of the volunteer organizations that were there today: Warwick Fire, Police, EMT, Pine Island Fire, New York State Troopers, New York State Mounted Police were there with a horse. It was amazing. New York State brought the drone, flew the drone around. The kids got to watch the drone in action. We had Sheriff's Department there doing Safe Kid cards that parents could sign their children up in the database and have that ID card for them with a picture. They brought the SWAT truck. That was one of the favorites. And this year we even extended beyond just first responders, but first responders as well as essential workers. So we have DPW was there this year. We have local auto body shops with tow trucks, and kids were coming up with all different ideas, even like, how come there's not a school bus here? How come there isn't a school bus? So next year we're gonna have a school bus there too. So they want to check out that dashboard and get into the driver's seat. We had a father's like, I have a Snap-on tools truck. I'm like, yes. So it's growing each year, and it really was a wonderful experience for our students. Tomorrow we wrap up our week with our official lockdown drill, the first one of the year, as well as our PTA sponsors a first responders and essential workers luncheon, where police officers, doctors, nurses, firemen come in and they actually have lunch with our students in the cafeteria. They sit down at the tables, they have conversations, and our kids always ask the best questions. So, and Mr. Fanos, I heard you couldn't make it this year. Oh, well, we're gonna miss you. But our kids ask the best questions, and it really comes from the heart, the questions that they're asking. So it's been a busy week, and we will roll into the rest of October. Looking forward to a visit from Warwick Fire Department next Friday. And then we have a picture day towards the end of the week, our Red Ribbon Week, the week of October 24th, where again, our focus on the elementary level is making healthy choices. And of course, the PTA favorite, Spooktacular at the end of the month. So looking forward to a busy October with lots of learning and fun. Thank you.
I have next observation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Welcome, Bill.
Good evening, everybody. A lot going on at Park Avenue as well. Try not to repeat some of the same events. Kindergartners on September 30th, all of them went to the Albert Wisner Public Library. They were accompanied by parents, teachers, and media specialist Scott Zavilla. Students were joined staff in the community room, where they learned all about the library's resources and how much it all costs. So in case you're wondering, absolutely nothing. Students listened to a read aloud, participated in an interactive writer's workshop, engaged in a short music program, learned about rhythm, different forms of dance, and took a tour. They were able also to leave with a gift in the book. That was given to them, which was wonderful. Prior to the visit, they applied for their first library card, which they should be receiving very soon. Our third grade teachers and students, along with the kindergartners, created a Kinder Buddies program, which is pretty much what it sounds like, a buddy program. Classes will meet once or twice a month to read books together and work on fun activities. Students in third grade were asked to pre-select books they thought were interesting and fun for the little kids. And they were asked to think about ways to create conversations with the younger kids, make them feel comfortable. So some things they would go into the classroom and say is, my name is Bill. What is your name? I'm interested in baseball or football. And really get the kindergarten students comfortable with conversation and talking about themselves, which is important. Lastly, the third graders also organized and used materials to create friendship bracelets. The participating teachers currently are Mrs. Kilbride and Mrs. Ingber, third grade kindergarten, Mrs. LaRosa and Mrs. Canfield, and Mrs. McPherson and Mrs. Cordisco. Our student council is back in action. I'm happy to announce Gavin Asbury, Molly Brady, Kaden Brown, Addison Cohen, Jaden Connolly, Fiona Cantino, Elena Gell, Taylor Gillen, Ava Hagan, Ariella Jimenez, Charlotte Montanaro, and Alexandra Patel are forming our student council for this year. So they are student leaders, and they will have elections to have official positions for the year. Our student council does a lot. As you may know, leadership lessons are taught by the advisors, which are Amy Bueling and Mrs. Canfield, and the student council officers, and they help foster a sense of school pride, community pride, and really create leadership opportunities within the school. They do a lot in the school and in the community. You may be familiar with Park Avenue's Veterans Day event. I am, after 3 years, going to have the very first quote-unquote normal Veterans Day event at Park Avenue. And so they help a great deal with that. They do fundraising for wreaths across America and trees of heroes in conjunction with the Orange County Veterans Organization, where they go place wreaths at the Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Tryouts will take place October 11th for the Odyssey of the Mind. Students and their families will receive an email letting them know the results probably around October 16th. As you may know, Odyssey of the Mind is a pretty cool worldwide program that creates problem solving, creative thinking, working in teams of 7 and really competing with other schools for challenges that really revolve around STEM activities. It's a pretty big commitment. Students will meet for multiple practices each week and weekends from October all the way through March. And this year's practices will take place at the Warwick Community Center, and the regional competition will take place on March 4th in Goshen. It says that you go to their website that the teams of 7 are coached and guided in problem solving and creative thinking by the coaches, but I find oftentimes kids coach us, right? Pretty creative thinkers. Last but certainly not least, again, our kindergarten will be heading over to the Wright Family Farm October 27th. They'll be learning about the life cycle of a pumpkin, what plants need to grow, and how plants and animals adapt. And some of that stuff is directly linked to the science standards. When you look at those, they talk about independent relationships in ecosystems, making observations of plants and animals need to survive, and participating in collaborative conversations with your peers and adults about all that stuff. There was one last thing, I apologize. Park Avenue's Drama Club is also back in action. This year's production, directed and produced by Amy Bueling and Christy Brown, is Seussical Kids, and it's also sponsored by the Park Avenue PTA. Please make sure you mark it on your calendars, November 18th and 19th. This year, we will not be doing an outdoor production, which we've done the last couple of years, I believe, due to COVID. We are back in the gym and on our stage, which I'm excited about as well. So again, November 18th and 19th, please join us. All right, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Life cycle of public. What about the life cycle? All right. Georgiana, you're next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Georgiana Diopoulos. I'm the principal of the middle school. School got off to a great start this year. September was a lot of fun. All of our students really enjoyed participating in Spirit Week, coming up to homecoming, and participating in the homecoming parade. Our modified sports are up and running. Our modified football team does a really neat event every home game. They have this thing called My Jersey, Your Impact, and the 8th grade boys give a teacher their jersey to wear for the day, and the athlete shares how they inspired them to be the athlete that they are. I always give the teachers a lot of credit when they put that jersey physically on their bodies. I never know if that's watched or not, but it's great. But that's really nice, and the teachers enjoy that. Last week we had the privilege of having the organization Sweethearts and Heroes come spend an entire day at the middle school. Our Wildcat ambassadors were provided with an hour-long workshop with one of the founders, Tom Murphy, and he talked about leadership and being a leader amongst your peers with them. And then our 5th and 6th graders received an hour-long assembly where they learned about how to combat bullying by being an upstander, and they taught them 3 tricks on how to get a friend out of a situation that would be uncomfortable. Following that, Sweetheart and Heroes came into the middle school. They went and visited some of our 5th and 6th grade classrooms. The kids absolutely love them. Rick Yarish, one of the co-founders of the organization, is a retired wounded Army sergeant. And he shared his Purple Heart with a number of our students. Then our 7th and 8th graders had their assembly, which was very similar but very different than the 5th and 6th grade assembly, sending this message of hope and being an upstander for your peers as well. And then the day concluded with a lot of chaos and pictures. The kids loved them. And our teachers actually had an opportunity to sit and talk with Mr. Yarish and Mr. Murphy about helping students and how to help students feel included. We're really excited because it's not just a one-shot deal. They will be returning to our building for 2 full days in January to do additional small group work with students, cross-grade levels, to develop more community and communication skills with our students, and then talking to some students in classrooms about adversity and resilience. So we're really excited to have them coming back in January. Our Student Senate has started elections. They are recording their speeches for the elections, and they are actively preparing for our district-wide Pink Out Day, which will be Friday, October 21st. We have purchased 500 hot pink t-shirts. I expect to see all of you in one when that happens. We are, again, combining forces with the Cancer Society to raise money for the American Cancer Society, so we're really excited to do that. We are getting ready for Red Ribbon Week. As Miss Mariah was sharing, Red Ribbon Week is about drug and alcohol prevention for our students. We are working with the high school. I won't say too much, I don't want to steal Margaret's thunder, to gather a group of 20 students from the middle school and the high school to go to the kickoff event that will be held in Goshen. To help launch the week as well, the middle school PTA, in collaboration with us and the Prevention Coalition, are sponsoring the viewing of the film, the Mallory film, which was created by the organization Mallory's Army in honor of Mallory, who took her life at age 12. So that is to make us aware of suicide prevention and bullying that goes on. We're inviting students to attend with a parent because the message is pretty heavy. So we're looking forward to that event happening on Monday, October 24th in the evening at the middle school. Our PTA is also hosting for our 5th and 6th graders a flashlight night at the Wright Family Farm. I don't think we're going to learn about the life cycle of the pumpkin, but maybe the life cycle of somebody who's scared going through the ornaments. And we are also hosting a color run on October 22nd with our PTA on the grounds of the middle school and the high school. the high school and the Prevention Coalition. Our second annual trunk or treat that will be held in the high school parking lot will be held on the 29th. So a very busy month, lots of fun, positive things happening for our students. Thank you.
So George and I are working on a lot of same things together. So we also have Sweethearts and Heroes here on Thursday. We had an assembly with the 9th and 10th graders with the same message of trying to prevent bullying. And basically the message was that everybody has the power to prevent bullying. All you have to do is stand up and help and be a good person. And that's also a message of resilience, that even when you think you're at your lowest point, there's always people around you to support you. You need to use them. You need to be the support sometimes for others. And the kids, after speaking with them, absolutely loved the presentation, and we're currently surveying the kids to just share the one thing that they took away from the assembly, and we're going to print it all up and give it to the presenters so that they get some really nice feedback and thank you as well. So we're working on that. Today, the League of Women Voters came and spoke to many of the students in our history classes. Right now, we are working on voter registration, so they kind of go in and speak to students' responsibilities as civilians to take part in voting and get them registered. They're going to speak again tomorrow to a few classes, and they'll be available at lunch to sign kids up for voter registration. It's kind of a campaign we do every year, so we're going to do this one. Red Ribbon Week is coming up from the 24th to the 28th. Our SAG group and our high school coalition will be working on a themed week to spread awareness about drug use and prevention. We're also looking at possibly having some assemblies during that time also for all the students. It will end with trunk or treat, where the high school will host a trunk or treat for the young members of our community. We have many clubs signed up to sponsor the trunk. Many more coming in, and the senior class has decided they want to build a haunted house, so we're going to somehow get that built, and they're going to do it in the South Cafeteria for kids to be able to go in and kind of go through it. They're really excited to see us. We've been doing senior portraits for the last week, and class papers are coming up next week, so that's always a big time for us, organizing all that. On the 19th, we have the college fair and financial aid night. That is a really big night for our community. We usually have a representative from Maris that comes and kind of outlines the whole process for applying for financial aid for parents of seniors. It's a very tricky process, and they really offer a lot of helpful hints and tips on how to get through all that paperwork. It's a lot. And the college fair, we will have over 150 colleges in the gym representing their schools and handing out information and answering questions of students and their families. So that's a big one. The PSATs are coming up on the 18th. And with that being said, we have the results of the PSAT from last year, and then we had 6 commended students, which means that these 6 students scored within the top 3% of all students that took the PSAT last fall and are recognized by the National Merit Scholarship Program. And those students are Noah Atlasberg, Thomas Kans, Hunter Ludovisi, Julia Singh, Trevor Stevens, and Cameron West. So it's quite an honor to be recognized for their academic prowess. The Warwick Valley Prevention Coalition is partnering with our video production kids, and the Prevention Coalition has started a YouTube channel, so our video production team is going to help them with PSAs and their shows and all their messages that they want to go out. So we're setting up meetings to figure out a schedule of all the times that we can meet with them to help them. I think everybody remembers the man who was here to talk about the polar plunge, so I just want to let you know that Chris Arbonites and I will be taking the plunge on December 3rd. trying to pit schools against each other. And I just have to say on a personal note, the Special Olympics do such a fantastic job at their annual Special Olympic Games at West Point. My son competed for several years, and it was just an amazing event. It was probably the best day of our year every year when we go. So anything we can do to support them on. And the last thing that I just want to touch upon is the fact that we have so many student teachers this year at the high school. It seems like more than ever. And I know we go to Mrs. Leandro's office, probably attest. There's just so many requests. And I'm just really happy to say that the high school is, the teachers have been willing to really sponsor these new teachers and really promote a career in education and get these people started. And I'm just really proud of the work and their willingness to help. So it just seems like in the last 2 weeks we've just been on it. So I just want to point that out. I'm really trying to help. That's all I have. Thanks.
Lastly, we're about a month away from the Superintendent's Conference Day, and we'll be sharing an agenda with the board in a few weeks. But I just wanted to remind the board that one of the sessions that we've already been planning is on active shooter training. So the administrative team will be participating with a program that Steve Newhouse is organizing. So it'll be sort of a big picture look, and then working with our local police here. Advanced for each school. So we've participated in trainings in the past. Increased emphasis is being placed on this training, and we'll provide you with some more information next time we speak. And that's all from me. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who presented.
Thank you, everyone, for all the great and useful information. Moving on to reports from the Board of Education. First up is advocacy, local care funding, OXPA, and NISBA. We don't have a meeting for next week.
The only thing that's coming up is we have the Syracuse, and we have
Audit committee? Well, I don't think there's anything else you can add other than what Mr. Trainer said. Anything?
No.
Keep it. Facilities committee. Haven't met. Policy.
We meet soon to begin reviewing for the agenda.
Excellent. Coalition. I know Bob is not here, and I know that Ms. Fusco touched on something with the coalition and the YouTube channel. If anybody has anything else from the administration on
I would just add that out of this area on board committees or reports, we had talked about broadening the scope, although the coalition work is instrumental. We'll continue to get the same focus. We've also spoke about wellness in general, mental health as being an area that we could review monthly. So I will remind you again, the next work session does focus on those topics in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. Okay, we'll turn it over to our student member, Ms. Roberts.
Okay, so starting off, the Student Senate is holding a drive I'm a student, and as a member, as I used to be a member of Student Senate for the past 2 years.
If you could just speak a little closer to that mic's a little tricky.
Is it?
There we go. Perfect.
As a former member of Student Senate during my sophomore and junior year, I know that they worked really hard and diligently to make sure that it's a successful event. Due to COVID, we know that there has been a short list of hiring, so we would like to do our part in that department. Next, the art department is participating in a day of the life of a school bus, a art competition, and $1,000 scholarship. It challenges students to depict the average school bus by seeing where it goes and what the route looks like through art. I know that my friend personally said that she's going to apply. I hope her all the success for her. Next, we have the club fair that we had last week during lunch. It was a big turnout. I've never seen that many people in the whole gym, so it was really a big turnout. And I know personally for me, I will be joining the book club again. Last year we read books like Dry and Perks of Being a Wallflower. I know this year that my two friends, Lily King and Quinn Bear-Vecchia, who are the co-founders of book club, are doing something a little different. They're excited to, instead of the average, pick one book and then we meet next month to discuss another book. But this year they decided that we have two options. We either have a little short story book with different short stories from Edgar Allan Poe, or we could do Frankenstein. I personally chose Frankenstein for the Halloween theme that is going on right now during school. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. Next is college applications. Last week, their guidance held a college kickoff for families, and they've also been doing workshops to help students like myself who did not know much about the college application process, like figuring out what's the difference between early action and early decision, or why it's important to waive the FARPA, stuff like that. Next is homecoming week. Homecoming week was about 2 weeks ago. It was really, really fun, especially as a senior this year. Normally I do dress up for homecoming week, but this time I really dedicated to dress up every single day. I remember on duo day, I saw someone who was in a SpongeBob inflated suit, another person was in a Patrick inflated suit, so it was really fun to see all my classmates come together during that week. Later on that week, on that Friday, we had the powder puff game, and guess what? The seniors won. So we're very happy about that. And then we had the bonfire right after, which was very nice because it was very cold that day. Following that, we had the homecoming game against Wallkill, and we won. We won really, really good, not to brag, but we won, I don't know how many sports terminologies, but I'm pretty sure it was 44-0. 44 So, very, very good. And then after that, we had the homecoming parade. Unfortunately, the seniors didn't win this year, but it's all good. I'm very proud of the juniors for pulling through with their Batman-themed look this year. After that, unfortunately, I couldn't be at the game and at the parade because I was up at Albany receiving the Multicultural Scholars Award. But I would have wished to be there, especially to see that walkout game. After my friends told me that it was amazing.
Congratulations to you.
After that, there was the homecoming dance, which was amazing to see, especially since last year due to COVID, we had to have it outside. And I would say it was about maybe like 300 people, but this year there was a little over 800 people. So we had a huge turnout, and it was really fun. We had a great DJ. It was great. Next, senior portraits. I personally took my senior portrait on the first day of school, and it was kind of sad for me personally because it was just like a commemoration of like it's the end of the era, but it was still really quite important. Next, the financial aid and college fair is coming up. I know that's something that definitely me and my family will be participating in. For those who don't know, I'm a triplet. So me and my sisters are all going to school at the same time. So definitely need to go to the financial aid part. So figure that out. Then there's coming up in November is open house for the ninth graders, the incoming ninth graders and 8th graders. I know that I'm someone I'm a senior, but I still take the bus, and I definitely hear a lot of 8th graders saying how excited they are to come to high school. I feel like they will feel like they're older and stuff like that, but they're definitely excited to kind of start their high school journey. But lastly, I've been thinking with sports, but as like about a week before, or like the Friday before homecoming week, there was the game against Goshen, and guess who guessed it? We won. We got the Spirit Trophy, which was great. I was actually got to attend there. It was a whiteout for Warwick and a blackout for Goshen. It was actually a very invigorating game. Like, we thought we were gonna win. We were like, they had no points. Sorry, again, I don't know that many sports terminologies. But I had no points. I was like, oh, sorry. It was like 30, 32 and 0.
Zero.
And then zero. But then, about 2 minutes before the game ended, Goshen, of course, scored a touchdown. And then we were all in our seats. We were like waiting. And then finally it ended and we won. And it was fun. Like, I saw people hopping the fence to rush the field. That was never something that I was partaking in, but I'm happy to see it from everybody else. Currently, our football team is actually 4-1. With Coach Chirico, very excited for our game against Menacing tomorrow. So if anybody's not doing anything, you should go to the game at Menacing. When I talked to him today, he was like, you need to come. You make sure you have all your friends there. He bleeds purple and gold, so I'm very happy to attend there. But next, the boys soccer team is 5-2 right now. With a game against Valley Central today. Mr. O'Connor is my AP Gov teacher, and when I talked to him about this, he said that he's pretty confident because they beat Valley Central last time, but he's a little nervous because it's on their turf and they're playing for the playoffs. So wish them all the best of luck. Lastly, the girls soccer and volleyball teams are 7-3 right now, and
7-3.
7-3.
7 wins, 3 losses.
I gotta say, you guys were confusing. She was saying 7-1-0, and then you told her she couldn't say it.
We're just having fun. Yeah. The wine, we can wine.
I never realized I just telling people sports facts.
Okay, so the girls soccer and volleyball is currently 7-3. With the girls volleyball team having their senior night tomorrow. So then you might want to report.
Now, I had heard some good news that you were going to share, but you hadn't confirmed, but I confirmed it this evening. Yes, I did, so you can share about a young man getting into Yale. Go ahead. We can't hear you again. Yeah, that's okay.
Francis Keening, a current high school junior, just got accepted into the Yale lacrosse team through his lacrosse achievements. So very much congratulations to him.
Outstanding, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Great report.
Excellent report. Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Leach for recommendation of the superintendent of schools.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel and CSE agendas. That's Sharon and John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried.
All right, moving on to new business. I would like a motion to accept the external audit report for the 2021-2022 school year, as it appears on the agenda.
Second.
Tom and Bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to approve the internal audit corrective action plan for 2021-2022 as it appears on the agenda.
So moved.
Sharon and Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to approve the resolution for the battery storage easement as it appears on the agenda. Second. Dory and John. Any discussion? And this easement was granted to R&D Rockland, allowing a right-of-way on district property to access their utility poles, which is for the record. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to approve the capital project change order as it appears on the agenda. Word, second. And Tom? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to authorize the Assistant Superintendent for Business to transfer funds as they appear on the agenda.
So moved.
Sharon and Dory. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to approve the resolution to allow students in the Warwick Valley Central School District to participate in the Menacing Valley High School trap shooting team for the 2022 fall sports season as it appears on the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Lynn and John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would like a motion to approve the resolution to allow the Board of Education of the Warwick Valley Central School District to send a letter to the Warwick Valley Central School District taxpayers and voters informing them of the upcoming Orange Ulster BOCES capital project vote scheduled for Tuesday, October 25th, 2022.
So moved.
Dory and Lynn. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Does anyone have any old business they would like to discuss? Okay, I'm going to open it up to comments from residents. If anybody would like to speak, I'm asking you to come up to sign in at the table, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less.
Either time. I don't know, it's on.
Tip it down toward you.
I don't, I think we have to turn it on.
Don't worry, we'll start the clock once you say your name and everything. We'll give you your full break.
Various matters. Hi, everyone. I'm Beverly Braxton. I have lived in Warwick for 50 years, and my 2 children went to Warwick schools. I helped design the POD program and was its lead teacher for nearly 30 years. Since retiring in 2010, I have created 2 organizations here in Warwick with the goal of strengthening community connections. gives me a great pleasure to speak in front of you, to share publicly my appreciation of the important job you all are committed to doing on behalf of Warwick's children. Oftentimes, the onus for providing a well-rounded educational experience for students falls directly on the shoulders of school administrators, teachers, and staff. However, we must remember that much of a child's life and their education occurs outside the classroom. What happens before the school day starts after it ends? What happens before the school day starts and after it ends can be just as important and impactful in the lives of our students as what happens during the traditional school day. And that is why school-community partnerships are so vital. For that reason, in 2014, I created an organization called Family Central to provide community support for Warwick's parents. Last year, I created We the People Warwick with the goal to improve the civic health of our community, to reduce political and racial tensions playing out in our community, the same tensions that frighten and confuse our children. I am here this evening to update you on the organization's progress. We the People Warwick works to promote a supportive and inclusive community, one that provides opportunities for connection, for healing, and for growth. We do this by identifying an action that we believe, if successfully addressed, would bring the most benefit to our community. Over the course of the last year, We the People has developed 3 action teams that work to achieve these goals. We have an education events team, we have a mental health resilience team, and we have a youth engagement team. Please check out our website for the details of those initiatives. We the People Warwick recognizes it will take the collective power of the community to proactively address the cultural challenges facing our children, their families, and our schools. For this reason, I am reaching to leaders of our school district, as well as leaders of law enforcement, houses of worship, government officials, and civic organizations to explore possibilities for collaboration and shared purpose when it comes to securing a brighter future for our youth, and indeed for ourselves.
Ms. Price?
I look forward to joining you for a discussion.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Janine Mitchell. As a teacher in Warwick for the past 20 years, I have a passion for serving young people. When I found out about the youth engagement team of We the People Warwick, I could not pass up the opportunity to get involved. Being a teacher and parent, I recognize up close the challenges facing our youth and wish to support them in ways they see fit to grow and thrive as integral members of our community. The missions of We the People Warwick's youth engagement team are to foster youth and adult partnerships in order to increase young people's influence and personal stake in the community. We invite youth voices to guide us in understanding the current cultural challenges they face and what they need to cope with stress and strengthen their resilience. We seek to bring current youth issues and concerns to the foreground so that they can be met with positive guidance, mentorship, and supportive community partnerships. Our youth engagement team has 2 current initiatives. The first is our youth engagement questionnaire. Over the summer, in collaboration with several high school students, we created a brief, anonymous 4-question survey. This initiative came out of our mutual concern regarding the mental well-being of our young people coming out of COVID. Through this survey, we hope to more accurately assess the needs and concerns of Warwick tweens and teens, their parents and guardians, and those who work with them, such as teachers, coaches, and caregivers. The survey also seeks to assess how to best serve those needs. We believe that the data we are seeking will be helpful to our school district and to the larger community in understanding the needs, challenges, and hopes of our youth. The second current initiative is our art, poetry, and essay exhibition, which invites teens in grades 9 to 12 to submit art, poetry, and/or essays to be shared at a public exhibition in the near future. In addition to our current initiatives, we have numerous ideas going forward questionnaire. Some of our ideas are to partner with teens to create service opportunities in the community, to co-design a teen life skills and leadership program to develop resilient skills, to work together with the town of Warwick to create youth-centered activities and spaces at the Kutztown Camp, to offer wellness programs to teens facilitated by community members such as yoga, meditation, intuitive dance, and breath work. And a few more that I'm not going to mention because I'm watching the clock. We the People of Warwick is reaching out to you, the board, as leaders of our school district to explore with us possibilities for collaboration and shared purpose when it comes to securing a brighter future for our youth. Our ultimate goal is to provide experiences that foster belonging, connectedness, and a sense of purpose for Warwick's children. To this end, we are reaching out to you because we believe you have the same goals of bringing youth into our fold. We seek your support in helping us get the word out about We the People Warwick's youth engagement team and our current initiatives to students, parents, teachers, and all those who have a vested interest in the well-being of Warwick youth. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, anybody else wish to address the board? Okay, any board follow-up? With that, and I would like a motion to adjourn the meeting. Bill and Dory. Any discussion?